Hey guys, so it's here bringing you another video. So today we're going to be doing a kind of league discussion slash Q&A kind of combined into one. Again, it is the festive season, and I vowed that we're going to have 2 videos a day, no break. But obviously, if I just do like a league discussion and maybe some challenger spectates, they're a little bit easier to do to get all the videos done in time, rather than all gameplay. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. So the way that I'm getting questions, we're going to be doing it, I think, 3 ways. First is on the Discord server, then we're going and using Twitter, and then we're doing a bit on the YouTube community tab. But I will say I have not left much time between tweeting and social mediaing this out and starting to record. So there may not be that many questions, but we can kind of just give detailed answers, which is kind of nice occasionally. So what I will say, obviously, if you are doing like the content, feel free to throw a like on the video just to remind you guys early. And if you've got any other questions about pretty much any topic, in the description, even the comments of the video, feel free to ask other questions or just have some chats, and I'll be down there and we can have a little bit of a chin wag, as the British say. So the first question that I saw that I actually wanted to answer was in relevance to my PC. Not my specific PC, but there's a lot of people that are like, they're in the market for a new PC, or they are on laptops and they want to kind of eventually get to a desktop. What would I recommend? The easiest thing you can do, in my opinion, is go on, and again, my advice is don't build a PC yourself initially. Like, buy a pre-built PC and kind of open it up and have a little look at how everything's kind of works and pieces together. Obviously, there are YouTube tutorials that you could probably learn how to build PCs as well. But, I got mine from Cyberpower, and again, I will say, this isn't a sponsored message. I got a discount on my PC, but what you can do is, one of the questions was, he says, I know your gaming rig is tricked out, but what would you recommend for someone on the mid-range side who wants to play League and other games on reasonable quality? On the website Cyberpower, I don't know where you're from, but they have an American version and they've got a UK version. You can buy and again, not just Cyberpower, all these custom PC manufacturers and builders, they usually have a feature called PC by Game. So if you go on their website, you click PC by Game, find the game that you want to play, and then they have like different price ranges of PCs that are good for that game. Like, I'm on the League of Legends page on Cyberpower UK, and they've got PCs starting at £519 to all the way to £1,750. And obviously for League of Legends, League is not an intensive game. I personally probably wouldn't go as cheap as 500. I'd probably go for the £699 one because it's pretty decent. It's got an i3, it's got a 8 gig of RAM, and you can build a little bit more out of that. It depends your budget, obviously, but you obviously have to have expectations depending what your budget is. And one of the biggest recommendations that I'd have to people when it comes to custom PCs is cases are important, because you want to have good airflow through your case and good cooling and stuff and options like that and dust filters. But the ones that have glass sides, like my one, are expensive for basically just looks. The vast majority of people, when you get into PC gaming, sacrifice the glass case, like the glass windows to look in, for like a cheaper case to spend more on good parts. That's one of the things I would just say straight away. And also, if you are on a little bit of a budget, I actually would opt for going for... I'm personally not a fan of them because, there's abundance of reasons, but go for an AMD processor instead of a Intel, because AMD are very, very similar specs, very similar speeds, and they are a lot cheaper. So again, you get more bang for your buck for that type of thing too. So that's what I'd recommend, is go on a custom PC builder website. Go with one that's trusted. Cyberpower I would recommend. But there's like Origin PC, but they're very pricey. NZXT just brought out a new service that they do it as well. They're a case manufacturer, but now they do custom PCs. And yeah, go on like the PC by Game. And if they don't have it, the one that you're looking at, pretty much all these builders will have a support that you can ring them up or email them, or a lot of them now have Discord servers you can join, and you just ask, hey, I play League, but I also want to play Grand Theft Auto. What would you recommend? Hey, I play League, but I want to have a little bit of future-proofing. What would you recommend? And that's probably what I would do. So that's my personal opinion. Again, remember, one thing I've always said to people when they've going from a laptop to a desktop, which I did many years ago, if you guys have not watched a few years ago, when I got the 1080 PC, I recorded a video, my PC history. I went through from an absolute garbage PC that was a laptop that was held together with tape, and I slowly made my way through upgrades. when you went from a laptop to a desktop, there's so much more that you got to think about. It's like, oh wait, I'm buying a desktop. Oh, I need a monitor, at least one. Oh, I need a keyboard because it's not a laptop. Oh, I need a mouse. All this stuff that you kind of don't think about normally when you're upgrading. So yes, you're buying that PC here, the £699 one that I said. That's just the tower. That's no keyboard. That's no mouse. That's no monitor or anything. So you've got to take that in consideration too. But that's what I'd say. Buy per game is a really good way of doing things. Yeah, sorry. My teeth still haven't fully recovered. They're getting there, though. Next question, I think it was in regards to... It was just a very brief, like... Again, people are coming to the channel quite a lot at the moment. The channel was growing, which is pretty cool. For December, I was like, okay. But there's just a question that has come up before, like, do I think I can do this for the rest of my life, or am I planning to do something else? Again, I have no intention that YouTube is gonna be my career. I call it my job, not my career. This isn't a career. It would only be a career if you blew up with millions of subscribers, you know, and I'm even saying millions. Someone with 1 million YouTube subs isn't going to be doing this for a career because it's too random. You know, we have no control over YouTube. I get messages all the time that people aren't seeing my videos, but they're subscribed. They've even clicked the bell. They didn't get notifications. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. You know, this is a relatively new job. So, you know, my plan in the back of my head is if I can do this for another 3 years, roughly, that's great. You know, next year I am potentially looking to buy a house, and that's what I'll always remember. You know, YouTube gave me my start to my adult life, and if it gets me onto the property ladder, then that's awesome. And obviously, I have sacrificed a lot to do that. I do work basically 7 days a week. I do everything by myself. So many of my friends who are YouTubers say, Huz, get an editor. You can afford one. Get one. I'm like, no, I've got no... I may as well just do all the work myself, keep all the money and the profits, and just work harder. But the vast majority of my friends now have editors. I don't. And I really don't plan to get one, if I'm honest. Maybe I will in like 1 or 2 years, but like I don't think so. But yeah, like there is no, like, again, I'm not in the delusion that this is going to last forever. I'd like it to last as long as it can, and that's what I'm going to do. You know, Twitch this year has blown up. You know, again, I've said when you, I want to vaguely speak about income, and some people say, oh, you should, and it's really respectable that you talk about it. I've had people message me going, you know, don't talk about income because then people kind of get, you know, jealous or whatever. Again, if you're going to get jealous for that, whatever. But all I'll say is this has been the best year by far, income-wise. Even though the views are relatively the same, I'm earning, I probably would say about 50% more than I did last year. And last year was quite a lot, and this year's even more. So... pretty good. But yeah, I work 7 days a week, more or less. Last night I was working, I think, until about 1 a.m. Getting all the videos ready for Christmas and stuff like that. With thumbnailing them and uploading them at the right times, scheduling them, everything. Like, you know, I was working till 1 a.m. Today's my day off, and I'm recording probably about 4 videos today off stream. This Q&A, going to do 2 challenge spectates, and probably then an op.gg review as well. So, you know, it's hard work, but there's no illusion, or delusion rather, that I think this is going to last forever. It's not. Being a pilot is probably where I'm going to go next, but it depends, you know, it might not. Something crazy could happen, and then I could go do something else. You never know. All right, so next question. We'll jump over to the Discord server, I think. Thoughts on pros getting placed iron and climbing from there. So this is the, you know, if you've got a fresh account, it's going to start in iron. What do I think about it? And, you know, with that also, you know, what do I think about the MMR in preseason? So I will say the MMR does seem a little bit broke at the moment. I don't know if it's been officially announced, but yeah, it's preseason. I think it'll be definitely fixed by the time the season comes around. But what do I think about the whole pros getting placed in iron? Take away the word pro, basically, because anybody that's gone 10-0 in placements on a fresh account has practically still started in iron. Why do I think this is the case? I think it's a good decision. You know, a pro, who cares if a pro starts in iron, because they're going to climb quick anyway. Who cares if a diamond player is going to start in iron? They're going to climb quick anyway. The idea, I think, what League has done is League wants new players in the game to start at the bottom and work their way up. I think this is smart, because all it takes, and I will say this right now, is, and I've had people message me about it. Again, I've had people message me for years about things, so it's definitely happened in this case. Huz, I'm a new rank player. My 10 placement game just went really well and I got into gold, but I definitely am not a gold player. I'm getting stomped now every single game. You could just have, like, everyone watching this video, I'm sure everybody's experienced those 10 games that went really well. What happens if there was your placement games? Well, now, if you're having great games or bad games, you're just still in iron and you've got to work your way up. I think this is the correct decision. Everybody with a brain, when it comes to the rank system, knows that if you deserve to climb, you will, no matter where you are in the rank system. If you're in iron, bronze, whatever, you'll climb if you're just good enough. And I think this is the ultimate of that, is that if you're a new player and you get placed in iron, then you work your way to bronze and then silver, that's a big achievement. If you already start in silver, it's kind of like, eh. And also, I think it's less of a demoralization to low-rating people, because every single bronze player that exists in League for the past years went down from where they started, because your fresh account used to start in silver, and then when you do placements and you had bad games or you just weren't ready, you went down to bronze. Well, now you don't go down a rating when you start rank, you just start at the bottom. I actually really like it. I hope it's intentional. I haven't asked Ed because, you know, it's the Christmas time and people are just having time off at the moment. So I think it's intentional, and I kind of hope it is. As a selfish point of view, for my upcoming rank series, I officially can call it Iron to Diamond, and I don't have to do anything dodgy. Remember we did a league discussion a few weeks ago that I was like, oh, I might have to do flex with bronze players and all that. I don't have to do that because all accounts are just starting in Iron now anyway. So, pretty happy about that, and I think it's a good idea, you know? You start at the bottom in most paths of life. You don't start halfway through. And you're going to work your way up. So I like it. I think it's pretty cool. And I think the MMR LP gains and everything, I think they'll be fixed by the new season. But I hope it's fixed, but I still hope placements make you go in iron. That's what I'm hoping. Dark Harvest nerfs if they went too far. Of course they did. That's what Riot does. So Dark Harvest got nerfed again. It's like this third nerf, I think. And yes, it's obviously not very good anymore. Some champions probably still use it, and it is a fun playstyle, so probably some players still use it. But Electrocute is just a better option for the exact same thing now. It was a really cool idea. And basically, well, I've said a couple of times, the reason why it didn't work, it wasn't because Dark Harvest was overpowered, it's because everything else was so weak. You know, some people have even said, I think Skara may be one of them, he wishes that, you know, these runes that do spells didn't exist. Because it just adds complication to the game, and is it really necessary? Your champions do all the spells, why do they need to have runes? So yeah, like, I don't know, maybe, possibly it's something they should look at if they even need them, but yeah, they went too far, definitely. Next topic is actually kind of a big one, and it's one that I'm very tempted to dedicate its own video to. So if you are somebody that would be like, oh, I would love a video dedicated to that, put it in the comments. But we're going to be talking about, very briefly, the differences between Heroes of the Storm and League of Legends. Now, if you don't know why, basically Heroes of the Storm is basically gonna die, more or less. There are still probably a bunch of people playing it, but it's probably gonna slowly trickle to the point that Blizzard probably shuts it down in the next year or two. Why? So the pro scene to Heroes never really fully took off. It had an okay following, but you know, when you're competing with CS:GO, League, Fortnite now, I guess, like it just didn't have enough market share to make it viable to be financially positive. So Blizzard recently announced they are cutting the official pro scene. There had been talks of other companies kind of picking it up, but when the official maker of the game says we're not doing one anymore, that's a bit of a worry. You know, that would be the equivalent of Riot going, League isn't really viable to do a pro scene anymore, we're stopping LCS or LEC or whatever. That would worry everybody, and furthermore, it wasn't just what that's what they did. It's also they announced that they're cutting development on it, in terms of they are taking the vast majority of the dev team off the game to go work on different projects. And I'm not even sure they're going to be doing many updates anymore. I think it'll be more maintenance. So when that's happening, the game's going to become stale, and then it'll probably trickle out to the point that they'll probably shut down the game in a year or two. And I'd say that's maximum a year or two. So what's happened recently and why people have said, oh, Huz, you should make that video, and we're going to talk about it very briefly now. And again, in the comments, let me know if you want me to expound on it a little bit more. There are a lot of Heroes of the Storm players now who are big MOBA players who now just feel completely demotivated to play Heroes. With that, my game that I play is not going to get any more updates. I can't watch my pro teams anymore. What do I do? I'm going to go play another MOBA. So they are all the Heroes players, Valve with Dota and Riot with League are probably like licking their lips right now going, oh my god, there's an abundance of new MOBA players, come to us. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next few days we see like Riot release an official video. This is League of Legends, and it's kind of like a brief explanation. So basically the difference is what you have to think is Heroes is, and I mean this by no offense, but I also think it's probably why Heroes kind of died. Heroes is a casual MOBA. That it's more casual than League, it's more casual than Dota, it's more team-orientated to the utmost regard. So much so that if you've never played Heroes of the Storm before, your experience, your champion's level and experience is tied to everybody on your team. That you in bot lane, farming creeps getting XP in bot lane, is getting XP for all of your teammates, no matter where they are on the map. Where obviously in League of Legends, if you're not in range to get experience, you don't get experience. That's the point. So that's one thing. You're very much tied to how well your team are doing, even more so in Heroes than you are League. In League, if one of your teammates is doing really well, they can carry. If one of your teammates is doing really bad, they could cost you the game. Heroes, obviously, that is also true, but it's less so. Because, you can kind of carry your teammates more by giving them XP if you're doing really well. Directly give them XP, which is something you can't do in League. So also on the maps of Heroes, all the objectives are basically team objectives as well. So there's maps that you can go collect gold pieces to fire cannons. You've got to work together. There's these like capture the point areas that your team has to fight over a specific point to kind of get lasers to shoot out objectives. It's very much about like team fighting, forced team fighting. At specific times. Like there is literally a timer that comes up on the map saying this is happening. If you don't go, you're probably going to lose the game. It's basically the equivalent of like our Barons and our Dragons, but it's on a timer that you have to do it. Otherwise, you're probably going to lose. Where obviously League isn't that decisive in terms of you have to do it now. It's spawning now. It's up to you when you do it or if you do it. And if you don't, it's not the end of the game practically, because these big Heroes buffs are very, very powerful, a lot of them anyway. So that's another big difference. Second difference is items in League of Legends. So League of Legends has items where Heroes does not. Heroes has leveling paths. So as you level up, you get different spells and you can go to different things. Very much like League of Legends, there is usually an optimal path, an optimal build, that one is just simply stronger than the others because it's again hard to balance. But there are occasionally heroes that you can either go for more of an AoE build, AoE, big burst damage, or you can go for single target. You do have that option, which League of Legends does have, but it's through items instead of build. And again, I just want to say, I didn't make it clear, I have played quite a lot of Heroes of the Storm. I played since alpha, and yeah, I've played a fair amount of it. My friends have played more, but I do know the game quite well. I played Thrall. I actually played a lot of Heroes, but yeah, I played Thrall quite a lot. I played Arthas quite a bit. Cole, whatever his name is, the Fire Mage. I played Jaina. Like I've played the game quite a bit. So I do speak from experience comparing the differences, and obviously I probably won't be like Diamond or whatever equivalent in Heroes right now, but given the time I probably could have, because that's also another point that we can move on to. Heroes was comparatively a lot easier than the other two, and I'm saying the other two meaning Dota and League, because those are going to be the two that the Heroes crowd kind of move into. I do see more people coming to League because it's more what I'd probably say friendly, not as I mean the community. Both communities, Dota and League, are bad, but the art. Heroes of the Storm was very vibrant, a lot of it, and very colourful. There were some darker maps, but not all of them, where, Dota is kind of dark and a little bit grungy, and I'm not meaning that as a diss, that's just kind of the art style, where League is a little bit more vibrant and a little bit more like Heroes of the Storm. So just for that reason, there's going to be a lot of Heroes players, I think, coming over. And then other differences, really, in Heroes, you've got mounts. In League, you don't. Only, like, one or two champions have mounts and they don't really do anything. It's not you don't mount up in League, so there's that. What else? That might be the main differences. I think so. So and in I believe they did change it. Yeah, I think they did, because it was the really weird thing. So Heroes was the first MOBA that pioneered flex queue being the main rank queue. It went really bad for them. Everybody got like the maximum rank, and then they changed it to what we have in League, which is called solo queue. And that was at the same time that League was like looking to do the opposite. And it was like, why are you doing it when Heroes is moving away? It clearly doesn't work. But basically, the reason why I think Heroes kind of died out, it was a little bit too casual for its own good. A competitive game, a competitive scene with pros, how can they have that kind of crazy competitiveness when the game itself is quite casual? I think that was the ultimate what happened. And some people say, oh, Fortnite's casual. How does that work? The sheer player numbers, that's how that works. Heroes has never had that player number count. But yeah, I think that's it. So if you want me to do a more in-depth video about it and we can visually show you guys the differences, let me know in the comments, like the video and that type of thing. But yeah, that's just my general beginning of that. Let's have a quick look through a few more. Bada bing, bada boom. And again, I will say, if as I mentioned, I didn't give much time between tweeting and stuff out. You know, I need questions and actually recording this. If we get an abundance of more questions, I might record another Q&A in like a day or two, because obviously I need videos over this time of year. Hopefully that's okay for you guys. Right, what are we going to answer? Some is, are you going to do some collabs with other YouTubers in the near future? See, the answer to that question is confusing, because in League of Legends, how do you do collabs? The biggest way of doing it is duo queuing. And obviously, I'm somebody that is known not to duo queue. I don't like duo queue. But I have mellowed a bit. And what I've decided in Season 9, when I get to a rank that I'm happy with, and, you know, if I get to Diamond 1 or Diamond 2, or hell, I even achieve Master, I will then happily do some duo queue. It will never take over solo queue. It will be like, hey, let's record some games together. Let's do 2 or 3, and those are 2 or 3 videos, and that's it for a while. But I am open to the idea of now doing some collab. And one person I've already said, and we need to work it out, it's just the time of the year. Me and Red Mercy have said that we're going to do some duo queuing, because he's obviously doing a series on EU. But obviously the time of year, everybody's so busy at the moment, so we might do that in the new year. And obviously, you know, we got Fox, we got Fi, there's a few people in the League Partner Program that are also Diamond I can probably, you know, duo with. But yeah, we're going to be more open to it, is what I'd say. You know, I think I've been a little bit too grumpy over the last couple of years, going, no duo queue with other YouTubers, bad. But when we've done it randomly, and, you know, when you're in when you queue up for ranked and the Foxdrop is in your team and you didn't duo, but he's on your team, and then we went on Discord and have a lot of fun. Yeah, it's something that I probably should have done a while ago. So yes, I am going to do more collabs when it, you know, in reality, we're just going to do a bit of duo queue with videos. I guess that is a collab. But yeah, that will be happening. So hopefully people look forward to that. Someone's saying, I want to know your thoughts on bot lane meta with mages and bruisers. I don't like when mages and bruisers are in bot lane. Saying, do I prefer it to AD carry meta? No, I am AD carry meta all the way. I am relatively boring when it comes to being a meta person. I want my tank and bruiser in top lane. I want my mixed in jungle. To me, that should be the most open role. Go a carry, go a tank, whatever. Mid lane, your mage or your assassin. Then your AD carry and your support in bot lane. Your support can be a damage, tank, utility, whatever it wants to be. That's what I like. That's what I enjoy. So when things were like, you know, oh, there's, you know, Karthus bot and all that, I was like, oh, I just didn't like it. It's hard to explain. You know, sometimes in life you just simply don't like things, and there's not really any big explanation for it. You just don't like something, and that's what it was like for me. I was like, I just don't like it. It's just kind of meh to me. So yeah, that's what I'd say. Is I prefer when it's actually an AD carry and stuff in the bot lane. Next thing, what's made me stick with League for so long, and what do I think League needs to make everything better? A simple flick of the switch solution that probably doesn't exist. But what has made me stay in League for so long? It's my favorite game. You know, a lot of people go, he's saying that it's because it's his job. That obviously does have some part to it, but I have always said, if I hate League, if I suddenly turn around, wake up one day from my bed, from my slumber, and I go, I absolutely hate League, I'd stop. You know, I would. And I know a lot of people go, that's crazy. Yeah, but in life, you've got to do things that you enjoy, and what's the point in living life if you're not doing what you enjoy? I'm not meaning that in a negative way. I would just simply go do something that I enjoy instead. But I love League. It's my favorite game mechanically, and that's what I've always said. Mechanically, of how the game feels when you're playing it, it's my favorite. It's also the game that makes you feel the highest of the high, the best, but also the worst. When you're winning and you're climbing those ladders and you see Diamond for the first time, you see Diamond 1 for the first time, ooh, it's hard to beat that. Like, those feelings that I've had over the years, they rival my sporting achievements from yonder year, and my sporting achievements were pretty good. But being Diamond 1, it's right up there, like 100%, it's right up there. But also, it's the same of like when you're having a terrible time and you're losing every single game, it feels like trash. But that's what gives you the connection to the game. You care about it. So yeah, mechanically, it's my favorite. Emotionally, I'm most invested in it. It is obviously my job. And I don't know, I just like it. You know, it's just when I wake up and I'm like, oh, what game am I going to play today? More or less, it's League. You know, I do play, like, after I record a bunch of videos today, I know I'm going to play some Battlefield tonight. Or I might play some Red Dead, because it's just nice to have some escape to it. But I'll always be back to League. You know, that's what people have said, is like, oh, I'll quit this game, and then a week later they're back. You know, the classic Nightblue or whatever YouTuber of the week is saying they're quitting the game, they're always back. And I would say a lot of people give them a hard time that it's like, oh, they're back because, you know, no one wants to watch some other games. That is probably partially true, but I also guarantee it's because they probably missed the game as well. That like, people won't play a game as much as some people do if they don't play it, like if they don't enjoy it. So that's, I think, what League is to a lot of people. And then what would I do to make League better? I would have to talk too long for that. Again, that could be a video by itself. You know, I would get rid of Zoe. I just don't think she belongs. I would nerf Nico as just some very quick things. And then I'd probably, as just a overall grand, you know, what type of design direction would I want to go in? More solo-based experiences. You know, as we just spoke, Heroes of the Storm just died because it was too team-orientated. If Riot don't look at that and kind of go, people don't want team-orientated stuff, then I don't know what the hell else is going to make Riot realize that. Make people more solo carry, like give them more objectives to do by themselves. I think that would be something that's kind of nice. Like, you know, I've had this idea for a little while now, and I don't know if it would be a good thing or a bad thing. You know, Rift Herald, that it's randomly on one side of the map, that one team has an advantage of taking it pretty much always. What if you did a mini Rift Herald, like a super cannon minion that spawns at 10 minutes in each lane? So each lane has to fight for this super cannon minion to control it, and that gives you a small objective to fight over individually in the lanes. Like, there's a jungle one, there's a top lane one. I don't know, like, that would be a very individual thing that I think could work, maybe. It would need, like, a lot of thought into it, obviously, but I have thought about that for a little while. But yeah, I don't know, that would potentially be a good idea, in my opinion. But that is most likely going to be it. I'm just going to, you know, look a little bit, you know, one more. Okay, let's just say, what are my final thoughts on Role Ranked again? Again, nothing's changed. I think it's a really bad idea, and I've been pretty good with predicting, you know, how changes are going to go in League. And my prediction is Role Ranked could be the killer of League. You know, Heroes of the Storm just died, so you know, no massive AAA developer like Blizzard or Riot are safe. It's bad. To me, it's really bad. It's casualifying League way too much. And Heroes just died because it was too casual. So, yeah, I'm not going to get into the complete topic right now. There's a lot that I can say about Role Ranked. If you want to hear my opinions, if you never have, I've done videos on it. Just search Role Ranked on the channel. You'll find them. But that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Q&A. If you want to, you know, throw a like on the video, that does help out. If you want to comment and ask a question or just say something about something I've said, that's fine too. But yeah, like, subscribe. See you guys next time. See ya.